So this is gonna probably be my last video. I'm gonna go turn myself in.
Big U is finally turning himself in, and he's making some major revelations about Nipsey's murder. Ever since Nipsey Hussle's death, one name has been at the center of controversy: Big U. From the streets to social media, the allegations haven't stopped.
Big U had Nipsey Hussle killed. Everybody know that.
Charleston White said it, SKG said it, even insiders like Loose Cannon claim Big U had prior knowledge of Nipsey's death. And now, just when the noise started to fade, Big U dropped details that could change the story completely. Let's get into it. Big U's fallout with Nipsey. Nipsey Hussle, born Ermias Joseph Asgedam, was a rapper and entrepreneur from South Los Angeles. He gained recognition for mixtapes like The Marathon and his Grammy-nominated album Victory Lap. Beyond music, Nipsey was known for his business ventures and community work, particularly his Marathon clothing store at Crenshaw and Slauson. Eugene Big U Henley has a very different background. As a prominent figure associated with the rolling 60s neighborhood Crips, his early life involved street activities that eventually led to prison time. In his interview with DJ Vlad, Big U discussed his upbringing and connection to the streets. Big U served 13 years in prison from 1991 to 2004. After his release, he claimed to focus on community activism and violence intervention programs. The relationship between Big U and Nipsey started off positively around 2008. Big U took on a mentorship role in Nipsey's early career, helping him build his All Money In brand and expand his reach. According to reports from All Hip Hop, Big U toured with Nipsey, including the LAX tour with Game and Kendrick Lamar, then K. Dot. At the time, Big U was around 40 years old, while Nipsey was 18, 19. In interviews, Big U noted that he saw something unique in Nipsey's style and hustle. For his part, Nipsey showed appreciation by shouting out Big U in his music. However, their relationship took a dramatic turn in 2011. The problems apparently started over a dispute about equipment at Big U's shop. What might have been a minor disagreement escalated significantly. According to reports, Big U allegedly assaulted Nipsey, his brother Black Sam, and their father. The situation got worse, resulting in a shootout involving Nipsey's brother and the LAPD. A Reddit post claimed that the altercation was related to gang politics rather than money or music disputes. The falling out was serious enough that Nipsey recorded a diss track aimed at Big U. In a docuseries, Big U mentioned trying to have Nipsey disciplined for the song, though Nipsey's brother stepped in to prevent further issues. Interestingly, after about 5 years of tension, reports suggest that Big U and Nipsey reconciled around late 2016. They apparently settled their differences and started working together again, with Big U even serving as Nipsey's road manager for the Victory Lap promotional tour in 2018. This renewed partnership continued until Nipsey's death in 2019. This pattern of conflict and reconciliation raises some questions. Some have speculated whether the apparent reconciliation could have provided an opportunity for lingering resentments to result in something more sinister. By late 2016, Nipsey's career was on a major upswing. His Victory Lap album would soon earn him a Grammy nomination and solidify his place in hip-hop. As Nipsey's road manager during the Victory Lap tour, Big U would have known about Nipsey's movements and security arrangements. He would have been one of the few people Nipsey trusted, which some suggest could have been exploited. Despite these theories, it's important to note that Eric R. Holder Jr. was convicted of Nipsey's murder in 2022 and sentenced to 60 years to life in prison in 2023. The official finding is that Holder, motivated by a personal dispute with Nipsey, acted alone. In a 2021 Drink Champs interview, he rejected rumors linking him to the killing, saying they had no ongoing beef and maintained communication. He expressed frustration about people using Nipsey's death for attention. However, recent developments have brought new attention to the case. On March 28, 2025, Adam22 from the No Jumper podcast revealed that federal agents had visited him regarding Big U's case. According to reports, the agents were looking for a cease and desist letter that Big U sent after a No Jumper episode where rapper Loose Cannon claimed Big U had prior knowledge of Nipsey's murder. This is particularly interesting considering Big U's March 2025 arrest on federal RICO charges. While these charges mainly involve allegations of fraud, extortion, tax evasion, and the 2021 murder of rapper Rayshawn Williams, they have renewed questions about potential connections to other crimes, including Nipsey's murder. The federal interest in the cease and desist letter suggests investigators might be looking at Big U's reaction to the allegations. Why would he be so determined to silence these claims if they weren't true? Or was he simply defending his reputation against false accusations? Adding to the situation, March 2025 also saw the indictment of 19 members of the Rollin' 60s Crips, with allegations that Big U ran a mafia-like enterprise. Though the indictment doesn't directly connect Big U to Nipsey's murder, the The timing has fueled speculation. The relationship between Big U and Nipsey was clearly complicated. Starting as mentorship, it went through conflict, apparent violence, seeming reconciliation, and now posthumous controversy. Whether their final reconciliation was genuine remains an open question within the hip-hop community. Adding to the controversy is former Death Row Records rapper SKG, who apparently has publicly accused Big U of playing a role in Nipsey's murder. This keeps getting juicy. This claim that brings a whole new layer to this already tense situation. Let's get into it. SKG's accusations against Big U. While Eric Holder was convicted of Nipsey Hussle's murder, another voice has emerged with serious accusations against Big U. Halisha Choice, known as SKG or Suge Knight Girl, has directly accused Big U of being behind Nipsey's death. To understand her claims, we should first look at who SKG is and her history with both Nipsey and Big U. As a former Death Row Records rapper connected to Suge Knight, hence her nickname, SKG has been around the Los Angeles hip-hop scene for decades. Her accusations against Big U gained significant attention after his March 2025 arrest on RICO charges. The timing of her most vocal accusations has led some to question her motives. Is she taking advantage of Big U's legal troubles, or did his arrest finally make her feel safe enough to speak up? In a December 2023 interview with Tasha K, SKG claimed that Nipsey Hussle had set her up to be physically assaulted by Big U while she was pregnant.
Well, you know, he jumped on me. He lured me over to Nipsey Hussle's shop. He jumped on me while I was pregnant, beat me up, made me go to another part of the neighborhood. I got jumped by 3 girls. I still have a scar on my back from that incident.
According to her, this assault happened after Big U was embarrassed during a meeting with LA radio station K-Day. In a more recent interview on No Jumper, SKG described the incident in detail. She explained that she was working at K-Day radio station and had initially brought Big U and Nipsey Hussle into her professional circle.
Now I'm like, oh, well, I have a little homeboy and he's starting to rap and he's doing music. I want to plug him over here because I'm at the radio station. Oh, Big U is over here. Let me bring him over here because I'm at the radio station. I'm already in position, right? It was never it wasn't valuable for me to work with him to where I benefited because I was already SKG.
According to SKG, after a business disagreement with Big U regarding a community project, Nipsey called her weeks later asking for promotional posters she had for him. When she went to Nipsey's shop, she claimed she was ambushed.
I walk in the shop, him and Fats, they're out at the counter. I walk up, I'm talking to him, and I just hear the click, click. And it was like I knew that was that. I just knew. It's like it's a setup.
Oh, wow. Click, click, like somebody had a gun drawn on you?
No, click, click. They closed the door.
Oh,
click,
they
click.
locked it. Okay.
So they closed it, and then it was a thing where you can lock it, and I just heard the click, click.
This isn't a new allegation. SKG has apparently been telling this story for years, claiming that Nipsey and his friend Stephen Fats Donaldson arranged for her to be ambushed and beaten by Big U. The fact that she's maintained this story consistently gives it some credibility, though it's worth asking why these serious allegations didn't lead to legal action at the time. Interestingly, SKG claims that despite this violent history, she and Nipsey eventually made peace years later. During their reconciliation meeting, she warned Nipsey about potential danger, telling him, "Something's going to happen to you if you don't move from over here." When Nipsey asked why she would say that, SKG responded, "Because they don't respect you." She discussed this on the No Jumper podcast on April 1st, 2025, suggesting she saw threats to Nipsey's safety before his murder. Despite their complicated history, SKG has said she was so hurt when she learned of Nipsey's death in 2019, showing she still had an emotional connection to him despite their past issues. After Big U's arrest in March 2025, SKG's accusations became more direct. In an interview with TMZ on March 21st, 2025, she explicitly accused Big U of being involved in Nipsey's murder, saying Big U definitely has something to do with the killing. She called for justice for Nipsey and expressed hope that Big U would be connected to the murder, though law enforcement hasn't confirmed any such link as of May 1st, 2025. SKG's accusations directly challenged the official story of Nipsey's death. While Eric Holder was convicted of the shooting, SKG suggests there was a larger conspiracy, with Holder just being the person who pulled the trigger for someone else. When asked why she's so sure about Big U's involvement, SKG has hinted at insider knowledge, saying the public would be shocked when details come out. She points to jealousy as a main motive, suggesting Big U couldn't handle seeing Nipsey's growing success and influence. The timing of SKG's most vocal accusations, after Big U's arrest on other charges, has made some people skeptical. Her supporters point to how consistent her story has been over the years, while critics note the convenient timing and lack of hard evidence beyond her personal account. It's worth noting that SKG mentioned Nipsey denied setting her up for the assault during their reconciliation. This suggests a more nuanced situation. Perhaps Nipsey wasn't directly responsible, but was caught in a complicated power dynamic. If true, this might explain why she felt genuine sadness at his death, despite their troubled past. SKG's accusations go beyond Nipsey's murder to paint a broader picture of Big U as a threatening figure in the Crenshaw community. In various interviews, she has claimed that Big U terrorized her and others for years, alleging he extorted local businesses and used violence to maintain control. She stated that she feels safer since his arrest, suggesting she's been afraid to speak out for a long time. When we look at potential motives for Big U to target Nipsey, a few possibilities come up. First, there's the question of financial control. As Nipsey's career and business grew, did he become less dependent on former mentors? The music industry has a history of conflicts when artists try to break away from controlling influences. Then there's community influence. Nipsey wasn't just making money, he was becoming a symbol of positive change in his community. For someone used to maintaining control through fear, such genuine community respect might have been threatening in a different way. Finally, there's the possibility of lingering bad feelings from their 2011 conflict. While they apparently made up by 2016, deep grudges don't always go away completely. The violent nature of their original falling out suggests emotions that might not be easily resolved. Law enforcement hasn't publicly connected Big U to Nipsey's murder, and it's important to remember the presumption of innocence. Eric Holder remains convicted as the killer, and no charges have been filed linking Big U to the crime. Whether SKG's accusations will ever lead to further investigation is unknown. In his interview, Big U spoke about his evolution after prison and his desire to change his legacy.
No, I know it.
I
want to balance. I don't want to be remembered for being this negative force. You know what I mean? I don't want to live my life and the only thing you can remember about Big U was he was this, he was that, he was this, he was that. You know what I mean?
Some critics have questioned SKG's own motives. Her connections to Suge Knight, himself a controversial figure with a history of alleged violence in the music industry, raise questions about potential biases. Others wonder if her accusations are more about settling old scores than seeking justice. This situation reflects broader themes in hip-hop: loyalty, betrayal, mentorship dynamics, and the complex power structures that often operate behind the scenes. These patterns have affected many lives in an industry that sometimes blurs the lines between street credibility and dangerous criminal connections. Whatever the truth of these allegations, one thing is clear: Nipsey Hussle's death created a huge void in hip-hop that goes well beyond music. His murder took away a community leader, silenced a voice for economic empowerment, and devastated fans who saw in him a different model for success, one that involved investing in his community rather than leaving it behind. Nipsey's death was a devastating loss. It was a moment that shook the entire hip-hop community. It made people take a step back and really think about what he represented, both in music and beyond. Matter of fact, let's look at how Nipsey's death impacted the hip-hop industry as a whole. A big loss for all of hip-hop. When Nipsey Hussle was killed on March 31st, 2019, his death had ripple effects throughout hip-hop that continue to this day. The most immediate impact was a huge surge in his music's popularity as fans both old and new connected with his work. In the weeks after his murder, his album Victory Lap reached a new peak of #2 on the Billboard 200, an achievement he never got to see. His single Racks in the Middle, featuring Roddy Ricch and Hit Boy, climbed to #26 on the Hot 100 and won Best Rap Performance at the 2020 Grammy Awards. While it's common for artists to see increased attention after death, the response to Nipsey's passing went beyond typical posthumous interest. Major artists across hip-hop created tributes that showed just how widely his influence had spread. Kendrick Lamar demonstrated this impact powerfully. In his 2022 song, The Heart Part 5, Kendrick used deepfake technology to morph into Nipsey's image while rapping from his perspective. This wasn't just a standard tribute, it was Kendrick's attempt to let Nipsey's voice continue to be heard. At Nipsey's memorial service, Kendrick wrote a letter recalling their early touring days together, revealing a friendship that went back to their early careers. Other artists like Snoop Dogg, Nipsey Blue, and Big Sean, Deep Reverence, created musical tributes, while the 2020 Grammy Awards featured a performance by DJ Khaled, John Legend, Meek Mill, Roddy Ricch, and YG honoring Nipsey. Beyond music, Nipsey's death had real impacts on his community. In one of the most significant developments, gang leaders used his murder as a catalyst for peace, leading to ceasefires between rival gangs in LA and Compton. These truces reportedly involved hundreds of people and were compared to similar peace efforts after the 1992 LA riots. This peacemaking effect is one of the most powerful parts of Nipsey's legacy. Someone who came from gang culture had become such a positive force that even in death, he inspired former rivals to set aside long-standing conflicts. Nipsey's business vision also continued after his death. His Marathon clothing store stayed open, and in September 2019, the AMB store opened on Crenshaw Boulevard, continuing his community-based business approach. Puma released a Marathon clothing collection with proceeds going to the neighborhood NIP Foundation, ensuring his community work could continue. This approach to business has influenced many hip-hop artists to reconsider how they invest their money. Rather than just endorsing existing brands or creating vanity labels, more artists have followed Nipsey's model of building businesses that directly employ and serve their communities. Los Angeles itself changed to honor Nipsey's memory. Within months of his death, over 50 murals dedicated to him appeared throughout the